All right, let's go to Joaquin here. Joaquin with the J.
Howdy,
With
howdy.
There
with a J.
What
Okay.
time?
with the
With a
J.
J, with a J, yes.
The
With
other
two
one.
J's.
Where you at? There you are.
I'm right here.
I got you.
So speaking of that Mark Soleil guy, a week ago Sunday, he called me at 7 in the morning and said, I'm in Kannapolis, see you in an hour. And he delivered this beautiful old Rockwell Delta that was given to me by Jeanette Bean, who is retired. And it's got a variable frequency drive. So it's variable, it's reversible. I've got a magnetic emergency stop switch. But more importantly, even with the blade, with the extension on that one, I've only got 20 inches between centers. I've got 4 feet now, so I can turn canes. And in exchange, she wants a shoehorn. I don't even know if Penn State sells these anymore. So I found a really nice piece of Choque Viga, and I will be turning that for her this week. I've been working on custom orders, and I have a family who's ordered 8 bowls and 8 plates. So this is my template, hard maple, and this has no finish on it. And here's the first 3 of 8. And I'm doing pretty good on mirroring the template. I'm finishing these. These are going to be daily use bowls. So I'm finishing these with 2 coats of pure tung oil. And then I will put Brad's, well, they've got one. I'm going to sand them back again with 320 and use my laser to sign them. So I'm waiting until I get the whole group turned. And then I'll put a second coat on, and then I'll put Brad's Workbench Tung Honey on them to do the final finish. And then I'm going to put them on a shelf covered in, blocked off from the air in the shop here with plastic so that they can cure for a month. And what else have I been turning? I've got this little, I'm not done. I have this little keepsake urn with a uh, uh, ebony finial. And it's really funny. So you can see there's some sapwood. And
Yeah.
see the bend? That's where there's sapwood up there. And as soon as I got it thin, it went kink and bent over. So I'm gonna have to steam it and straighten it out. But there's the finial. I've got to come up with a lid, finish sanding the body, and put finish on it. But that's on the side because I got this big order that I'm working on. So that's all I've got at the moment. I have
Hey,
other stuff, but it's all packed in boxes for craft shows.
hey,
Pretty good,
Joaquin,
Yes.
before you go, can you show that new lathe you got? Because I had somebody just give me one of those, and I'm missing the motor, so I was curious how they
Oh,
did the
okay.
variable speed.
Well, so I don't know when this was done, but you can see there's a 2x4 or the piece of plywood mounted, and this is here. I'll show you that. Let's see if I can get around to the back here. I haven't cleaned. I clean in the morning to get me in the right mindset to turn. So there's the motor or the variable speed. I don't know if you can take a screenshot of that.
Yep, I will.
Pico.
Tico Electric and Machinery Company Limited. And this probably was done within the last 10 or 15 years. It looks fairly new.
Yeah.
But then we have, this is the now the new power switch and reverse switch. And if you don't turn them on in the right order, it turns the wrong way. So you have to figure out which way to turn it on. It's not plugged in right now. But then it's still the original Rockwell Delta motor. So they just put a variable frequency power to that old Rockwell motor. I haven't played with bands yet because I really don't need to. This thing, you turn it on and you turn it up, and well, I'll tell you, it's like a scalded dog. It runs fast. So I'm still figuring out speeds and balance. It was 5.5 inches too short, so I had to build a little stand so that I could get it up to elbow height.
There you go.
That's just a deck brace 4x6. Well, 5.5 by 3.5. And I built a box on that end for a little more stability. But when we get out here, it's so light out here on this end, I'm probably going to store logs on that end or something just to give it a little bit more weight and a little more stability. And it just needed a little love and care and some wax on the bedways and clean up. Oh, and let me show you something. This is just something cool if you're an old tool nerd like me. Hang on, I gotta sit you down. This is heavy. No, it's the banjo's hand lapped. I can't get to it, but the bottom of the banjo might come from an older lathe, but it's actually hand lapped. It's not machine lapped. It's really neat.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
about-
it's very cool.
Are the bedways still machined or were they hand lapped?
This is machined, which is what makes me think maybe the banjo's from an older tool. Because
Okay.
look at the handles. The handle style's different too. So it's
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
this lock, but the tailstock has this lock. So I'm thinking this came off a much older tool.
Mhm.
And even rather than a direct fitting for the tool rests, you've got these little slots, and then you just tighten this down on it.
Yeah.
So I'm
Smaller.
thinking this came from an older tool, but it's regardless, really fantastic gift from Mrs. Bean, and I'm looking forward to turning things like walking sticks.
Well, that's wonderful. Very nice.
Yeah. Pretty
So I got
exciting.
two comments. I got two comments for you, Joaquin. So one,
Uh-huh.
is your garage floor not sloped towards the door?
No,
Oh, okay.
no,
That's
my
kinda
garage
like
is level.
No, it's kind of like a joke, because then water runs in underneath your door. But I was going to say, then you need to shim up your tailstock side of your lathe. But, just making a little joke there.
Oh,
And
yeah.
the chocolate birdie. I don't know if you've ever turned it before, but
Uh-huh.
that stuff turns wonderfully. It turns very much like Coca-Cola.
Well,
I get a lot of it out here, being close to Mexico and whatnot.
yeah. I picked it up and felt the density, and it feels a lot like Cadillacs, which turns like a dream. But
So-
as far as drainage for the shop, I had to put in a French drain.
Oh, okay, got it.
I actually had
Yeah,
to dig
well,
a
that's-
trench.
that's it. Well, you being in the Carolinas there, so I was
Oh yeah.
just having
Well,
a
and the
little-
shop's
just
at the
having a
bottom
little
of the
fun with
slope,
you.
so
Yeah, I was just having a little fun with you. That's all.
So you're in the Carolinas?
I'm in Thomasville, North Carolina.
All right. I'll keep that as a note. You'll
And
never
you
know.
said the
Oh.
lathe had its original motor. It's 3-phase, right?
No, it's well, if it is, they did something when they put this in because this is running off 120.
Well, no. The inverter can take the regular single phase,
Uh-huh.
but your motor that it drives is a 3-phase motor.
Most likely. I can't get to there's a label on the back side of it. I'll have to get in there with a flashlight and take some photos, and I can post them in the Facebook group.
But for anybody that's setting up with the torque converters and everything, you've got to start with the 3-phase motor, and that's what you're driving with the torque converter.
Okay. Well, then it must be.
Then
Like I
if
said,
it's
you
the
can't really
original,
see
if
it.
it's the original motor, that means the original lathe was 3-phase.
Right.
Or they put a different motor on there that looks like the original.
Well, that looks mighty much like an original. I'll get in there with it and take a photo, and I'll post it in the group for you.
Okay, but the motors that are driven by the torque converters are 3-phase. You can put single phase input into them. You can put 3-phase input into them, depending on the torque converter.
Okay, cool. I'm not an electronics or electricity person at all. I just know it works.
Well, good for you.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Nothing wrong with that. All right, thanks, Joaquin. Thanks for sharing.
Yep.